Hey everybody, it's GauntletX, and welcome back to another premiere draft of Tarkir Dragonstorm. Without further ado, let's get into our pack one, pick one. Pretty nice pack here. There's no really simple monocolored card to take because there's no great removal. There's just the decent card draw of the pack beast. Sage is fine. We kind of have to just take great fixing like a Mystic Monastery or an Evolving Wilds or Flamehold Grappler. We take a three color rare or we take a piece of fixing that we're not even sure if we're going to use. I really do like the sort of 4 or 5 color decks, but it's like if I end up in a 4 or 5 color deck, I can just play the Grappler as well, double up a removal spell on turn 5 or 6, and get way ahead there. I think we're supposed to take Flamehold Grappler here, so let's take that. Pack 1, pick number 2. Dispelling Exhale is a great cheap counterspell. Not a great card to like copy with Flamehold Grappler, but it is a great way for the blue decks to buy time and get to their big late game plays if you play that as a core color for your big splashy deck, or just like Jeskai in general. So I like that pretty highly here. There's also Dragon's Prey, pretty equally good. It's the black version, basically. Black removal spell. Narset's Rebuke is also solid. Like all these cards, but I'm going to take Dispelling Exhale. Ooh, this is a hard pick. Dragonstorm Globe is one of the best ways to get your 4 or 5 color dragon decks ticking. But Sonic Shrieker is one of the most absurd dragons in the whole set. 5 mana, 4/4 flyer, deal 2 to your opponent, gain 2, and make them discard a card. Or 5 mana, 4/4 flyer, deal 2 to one of their creatures to kill it and gain 2. Either way, that's a really, really tremendously good card. So we take that here over the Globe. But Globe, super, super high pick towards being able to be like Jeskai splash a little black, or Mardu splash a little blue, or 5 color. Ooh, double Sonic Shrieker in a row. Don't mind if I do. I'm not even looking at the rest of that pack. That is ridiculous. Definitely better than the removal spell, the Stormplane Detainment we saw there, or the fixing. I think the pick order is bombs like Sonic Shrieker, then removal and fixing after that. All right, pick number 5. Jeskai Devotes, he looks kind of okay here. Riverwheel Sweep is also fine. Slow our opponent down, get a piece of card draw for later. Kinguard's okay to clutter up the board early. I'm not a huge fan of Embermouth Sentinel because there's so much good fixing in this format that you don't really need to take the 2/1. Curve is super high right now, but nothing in this pack really helps that out. Rather just run cheap removal than Kinguards unless I'm one of the more aggressive decks, which we are not looking to be with Grappler Double Shrieker right now. So I think it's probably Riverwheel Sweep. Pick 6. Frontier Bivouac. I like taking the Tri-lands pretty highly. Stormbrood, really nice when you care about the combat trick and the creature, though. But here we'd mainly just care about the creature. Pick number 7. Gunbolt is not super good in this set. There's plenty of creatures that dodge it with like 3 toughness plus. Still playable, but not a very high pick. It's better than everything else in this pack. I've been mildly impressed by Practitioner, not in that it's actually like actively good or great card, but it's been fine filler for me every time I've run it. I don't mind Practitioner here. The sturdy toughness early. Gets bigger and sets up your jaws if you're flurrying at all. Pick number 8, not a ton here. Tawny back is fine. 4/3, draw a card, discard a card, dig towards your big scary threats. Boulderborn Dragon's pretty great if you get the card that tutors it up. It's a card that I initially like completely wrote off, but then after I played with it, I was like, okay, no, this card is legit. Blossoming Sands or Riverwheel Sweep? Blossoming Sands or Riverwheel Sweep? I think I'm taking Blossoming Sands. I'm not even like green yet, but I don't think a second Riverwheel Sweep is a super high pick. We can just take all of the good common removal spells, all the exhales in the world. Pick 10, Bloodfell Caves is a genuinely very high pick because we have Double Shrieker here to fix towards. Pick number 11, there's that Kinguard again. Play white as the core of this deck, maybe? Yeah, I don't think these multicolor cards are super powerful to play off the splash or anything. This is not a good coordinated maneuver deck. Might be a good Snakeskin Veil deck if I go deeper into green. If we end up in the second pack taking a bunch of green fixing and running that as like the main color here. Another Kinguard, okay. Well, that's a Surrock, so that helps convince me to play green as a main color. Sibsig Appraiser also excellent, as is the Tri-Land here to splash in all these goodies, but I'm going to take the Fantastic Rare when it's available, and it certainly is here. Surrock, Elusive Hunter, can't be countered and draws you a card when your opponent casts removal targeting it. If they happen to try to counter anything else or destroy anything else you have, you draw a card when they do that as well, but they're obviously just going to kill Surrock first to not give you a million cards. Pack 2, pick 2. Jungle Hollow is a pretty high pick, but we also have this Siege. Put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control every turn, or make your opponent sack a creature every turn where a creature died under your control. I don't think we're going to have like a really wide board state. We're just going to have a select couple really good cards, unless I want to pivot to Obzon here. Start with like green-white at the core here, splash a little black for Siege, but I think the way this draft is going here, we're definitely the big splashy super multicolor deck. Pack Beast would also be fine, but I'm taking Jungle Hollow highly here. Pick number 3. Rally the Monastery has actually been perfectly fine removal. Destroy creatures power 4 or greater because there's plenty of really big creatures. And if your opponent only has the little stuff, then you just make the monks and get the trades in against their smaller threats. Another Rally the Monastery, Thornwood Falls, Sultai Monument. Sultai Monument is super flexible fixing, but we've also got Jeskai Shrinekeeper drawing us a bunch of cards in the late game. Caustic Exhale for excellent cheap removal. There's a lot of goodies here. I feel like Caustic Exhale is pretty important to get these decks ticking. Have the really cheap interaction to buy the time to hit the big great 5/6 drop plays like the Shrinekeeper, the Double Shrieker, and stuff. I think I have to take the Exhale when I see it. Pick 5. Another Sultai Monument. Well, there we go. Tactician's great if you're a pure Mardu deck with a bunch of Mobilize going on. I've got a couple Kinguards, those are just okay with it. There's no Mobilize in here. Oh, there's another Caustic Exhale? Never mind. Another Caustic Exhale. Pick number 6. The Solid Spectral Denial deck as well. This is a good late game counterspell because it's really easy to have your 1 blue mana off the splash by the time you can spend a million mana on X and counter anything with it. Glacial Dragon Hunt. Draw a card, discard a card, deal 3 to any target if you discard an on-land, and you can harmonize it, recast it, kill another thing. That's great early removal. There's the Dragonstorm Forecaster. Makes me a little sad about passing up all those Boulderborn dragons, but maybe we'll find more in the future. Unending Whisper to draw a card early here. Skirmish Run is a little difficult to cast for its quality as a card. I think we just spend the last pack grabbing nothing but mana fixing at this point, for the most part. In which case, Rhino probably gets pretty decent. Pick 10. There's a Boulderborn dragon. Come on in. Pick 11. Nothing much. One of the best things you can do with Caustic Exhale if you are like a 5-color Dragons deck is if you manage to get the Dragonstorm globes, you can play the globe on turn 3, have the 1 mana up to exhale if you have a dragon in your hand, which is really nice. Reasonable 4 mana plays there. Got 21 non-land cards, so yeah, I can focus almost every pick on tri-lands and dual lands in this last pack. I only need a couple more non-land playables. This card is like decent in the aggro decks for sure. Like when you've got a lot of mobilized stuff going on and your opponent is just always instinctively blocking those 1/1 tokens, trading up into 4 toughness cards is fantastic. While drawing a card at the same time, so it didn't even cost you a card to do so. It is really nice. Alright, pack 3, pick 1. Draw 3, discard 2 unless you discard a creature card. Well, that's insane, because you can flash it back too. Really excellent mana here, though. And I did want to spend almost every pick on excellent mana. This pack is loaded. Wow, I would be so happy with Winter Night Stories, Caustic Exhale, Sagu Wildling, Mystic Monastery, Osseous Exhale, even Swiftwater Cliffs I'd be happy with. We might even have enough dragons for teaming Dragonstorm. We've got 3. Yeah, I mean, even if you recast it only 1 time, the card's absurd. This is a wonderful pack. I'm sad I can only take one of these cards. I don't have a lot of card drawing here, so I'm going to take the draw 3, discard 1 to really hit all of our best plays. Wow, okay, well, I'm going to spend the first few picks on bombs. I actually think Fangkeeper's Familiar is better in here than Revival of the Ancestors, but they're both really good cards. So spend the first few picks on bombs and then crap all the fixing, hopefully. Alright, other people had the same idea, and there's no fixing this pack. Well, here's Stormplane Detainment. There's Molten Exhale, too. Molten Exhale, yeah, more efficient. Sultai Monument, there we go. Windscarred Crag, there you go. Second Flamehold Grappler. Overfixing. I think I'm doing really good on top end power. Familiar, Grappler, Double Shrieker. I'm taking that mana so highly now. Another Exhale, the Osseous Exhale for early removal over the Maelstrom of the Spirit Dragon. This can tutor out a Sonic Shrieker if we're like flooded, which is very strong. Yeah, you know what? No, I will take that. The fact that it's colorless when you're not tapping it for dragon spells is really awkward in a deck that's this multicolored, but the opportunity to pick up a Shrieker in the late game is pretty spectacular. And we can get all these Osseous Exhales later anyway. This deck is absolutely taking a deep breath and breathing out. We've got 5 Exhales in here. Jeez. Probably not going to end up playing the Forecaster plus Boulderborn Dragon. I think wow. We wield the Revival? That's absurd. Sure. I'll play another bomb in here. Dragonfire would be good in here too, but take that. I think the Dragonstorm Globe secret is out. Everybody knows that Dragonstorm Globe is the best 3 mana rock we've had in draft pretty much ever. So it does not get passed very often at all. I think we saw 1 copy and I chose against it for like a Sonic Shrieker or something really good in that pack. I don't remember exactly. So Forecaster, Boulderborn Dragon, those are just cuts now. 2 more cuts to go. Let's check our colors here and see if we can cut 2 cards of a color to get it really low. Green, can I cut 2 green cards? I could cut a Snakeskin Veil. Tawny Back doesn't really count because we can play the hybrid mana for it. I could cut like Snakeskin Veil Skirmish Rhino and have green just be the really, really light splash. But I do have the Sultai Monument towards green too. What are our other low colors? Red, black, and blue are all kind of equally low. I don't like the Nightblade Brigade very much in here. Riverwalk Technique, Dispelling Exhale, and Spectral Denial. I think those are both pretty good, though. Yeah, I mean, our early plays are all of our cheap removal against more aggressive decks. There's plenty of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at 3 mana or less. And I've still got a couple early blockers. So it looks like we're safe against aggro. We've got the big, scary, balmy stuff against other big, splashy, balmy decks, as well as the counter spells to try to stop them from resolving their biggest threats. And of course, the removal against them, too. This deck looks really solid. The only issue is the mana base is certainly not perfect here. We didn't get any of the Dragonstorm Globes that give you mana of any color, or the Sagu Wildlings that let you search for a basic of any kind and put it into your hand. Those are the best ways to make these decks really consistent, because both of those cards grab literally any color you need. So having none of those is definitely awkward. I think I'm cutting down on the creatures primarily here. Kind of means cutting down on Snakeskin Veil. I have like full-on counter spells potentially that I can have up against removal. And there is so much good removal here that our general lack of creatures could be a huge problem if I'm not protecting them. So yeah, I'm gonna run Snakeskin Veil over Skirmish Rhino there, and we'll run all these. Got 17 lands plus Sultai Monument. And how are we looking on colors now? 10, 9, 6, 7, 5. That's a pretty easy ramp down where like one less source of each color kind of thing. White, blue, black, red, green. It's in Wooburg order too. That's so funny. This deck is cute. This deck is absolutely cute. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 white sources. That has got to change. 4 blue sources. No, 5 blue sources. So I have equal white and blue right now. I guess 10 and 9 are really close in terms of the amount of cards of each of those colors, but the blue spells can generally wait till later. Right? The counter spells can wait till really late. We can't really wait on Kinguard or Osseous Exhale. And I've got a Sultai Monument to also help fix blue. Yeah, we can absolutely cut a blue for another white. And then black, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 black sources for 6 black cards. It seems like almost overkill. I can just run the 1 swamp with the Sultai Monument, put another planes in here. For red, we do not have a monument that can pick up red, which is important to remember. We have Bloodfell Caves, Frontier Bivouac, Windscarred Crag, and a mountain. So 4 red sources. Feels like about as good as it's going to get, and generally about right for Double Shrieker, Exhale, and Dragon Hunt. And then black, we have Swamp, Barrens, Jungle, Hollow, Bloodfell Caves, and Sultai Monument. So I can't really cut a swamp when I've got a Sultai Monument to help get there. Or a forest. Because we want that Sultai Monument picking those up. Yeah, I mean, this Maelstrom of the Spirit Dragon is genuinely costing our mana base quite a bit to have a colorless land in here when we only have 2 dragons in the whole deck. I think I might have to cut that just for another colored source. Because I'm on 4, 5, 6, 7 white sources, and then 3, 4, 5 blue of our main 2 colors. Mana is awkward. It's still going to be awkward even if I cut that and give us another blue, but it'll be a little better. Yeah, I'm going to cut that for another source of our main colors, and we will call it a deck here. Hop into the gameplay, hope we draw the right colors, and see how this deck does. Here we are for game number 1. We only have Teamer mana in the hand, which is awkward, because that's 1 castable spell. Everything in the hand is white or black. The 2 colors we don't have in hand, outside of the Spectral Denial, and our opponent's on the play, so if they're anything aggressive at all, and we miss our second color, we're going to die quick. So I think I need to mulligan this one. Okay, this is definitely better. We have a Caustic Exhale early. We have Winter Night Stories on 3 to do some digging. I think we ditched the red spell. Yeah, and then this is a very reasonable hand. Even if I don't hit a white source, I just draw 3, discard the Kinguard. And we are fine with that. Obs on deck from our opponent. Black, white, green. There's Bivouac for us, so we have every color except white now. And then the Winter Night Stories is going to help dig. Skirmish Rhino is bad for us. That's too big for Caustic Exhale. So now we're digging for removal as well. Riverwalk technique does not quite work, but we did find our white source. I can double Caustic Exhale with our Flamehold Grappler, but I really don't want to have to use that to double kill a Rhino. Alright, I can Caustic Exhale the Marshal of the Lost. I do have a Revival of the Ancestors, so eventually I get a 4/4 off of this. But playing it right now, I'd have no good blocks for either of these creatures, so I do need to just exhale right now for this turn. Save the Grappler for a way better late turn. We can still Technique the Rhino and slow them down, or Revival, start working on the 4/4. Ooh. Another 4/4. The threats are just out of reach of my goodies. I guess one really cute play I could have would be play the Grappler and then harmonize the Winter Night Stories, draw 6. Try to dig for an out. That trample on that Skirmish Rhino is such a problem that I can't just trump it here. Severe amounts of damage. I can try triple block plus Snakeskin Veil, but that loses to any instant speed removal or combat trick, and they've got all 5 mana up. There's a Kin Guard. Riverwheel Sweep. Make one of these a 4/4 to block the Skirmish Rhino. Take some damage to use that on the Stormbrood. Which is obviously not what I want to do, but maybe what I have to do. I want to hold up my Snakeskin Veil here to make sure I'm keeping my best, 5/5 around for once I get my lifelink turn. Well then. I'm gonna put myself down to 2 to just kill the Stormbrood now. No, I mean, getting the monks out before the lifelink is also really strong. I have 3 turns still to find a way to deal with that, and I'll gain 1,000,000 life in the meantime. So, like, going down to 2 feels extra risky, because if they just play, like, another Skirmish Rhino or bounce this one with something, we just die for doing that. And there's the bounce. So bounce the Stormbrood, probably. No, they do still bounce the Skirmish Rhino. Oh, right, because it's lethal with flying. Oh, my God. Ah. If we could have lived like one more turn, I think we could probably win this. Because I have the Snakeskin Veil for the removal against that, and then I have a gain 5, 7, 8, 9 minimum. Probably 11 swing, because I could play a spell there. I could also Grappler the Technique to slow them down. That is absolutely tragic. We were like a turn off from stabilizing. But that is a risk of 5-color good stuff. Sometimes you're just a tiny, tiny bit too slow. And that is 0-1 heading into game 2. All right, here we are on the play for game number 2. Wonderful hand here. The mana's not excellent. We're on blue, black, red currently, but I get to exhale their first scary threat. We have Winter Night Stories to start digging for mana here. And if we hit the mana, we've got multiple powerful bombs to cast. Now I have a Tawny back that I could cast here potentially. But that may be the discard if we don't draw a worse creature. Yeah, that's going to be the discard here. There's the Scoured Barrens now, so I have Jeskai mana for Stormplane Detainment or Riverwheel Sweep. Just need to find a green source for these 2 rares. We're chilling though, we're big chilling. 5-color mirror match. Teaming Dragonstorm absolutely gets countered. Denial can counter something later a lot more likely since I can make X a million. So I'm going to start with the Dispelling Exhale. I could Dragon Hunt just to draw a card here. That would not be the worst. Monastery Messenger, you're fine. If they put the Dragonstorm on top, I can just counter that and then they just skip the draw step. I think I want to Dragon Hunt badly enough to do so. Okay, I guess I can't counter the Dragonstorm if I Dragon Hunt, because then I don't have the mana up to do that. Just making our opponent's deck play out as slow as possible, because I need to wait for my green source over here. Oh god, Maelstrom of the Spirit Dragon is a nightmare, because if they have, yeah, any of the premium uncommon dragons or the mythic dragon, they get to tutor it out. And that is a premium uncommon dragon. We can't do anything about that till it's already hit us, but we've got the answers once it does. If they want to kill a 1/1 here, then we get to kill it immediately. And these can't block it anyway, so we might as well do that. They're down to 3 cards in hand, and we've got a million, so as long as I don't die to this giant dragon, we've got the long game card advantage on our side. The other issue is, again, any mythic rare dragon that they opened up is playable when they're 5-color, and they can just tutor it out. So if they have like the 8-mana Ireni, the 10/10 protection from white and black, that's just unbeatable. And they can tutor it out. Alright. All removal control continuing to do well here. 1 mana off from stopping them from getting the 2-for-1 off that Shrine Keeper. That's frustrating. Detainment, and I still have the Exhale up here. Actually, I could have Riverwheel Sweeped and still have the Exhale up, but obviously Riverwheel Sweep is not a permanent solution. Just a lot of stun. Actually, should have exhaled used the black exhale during our turn in case they drew into a counter spell here. I can hold up Caustic Exhale by tapping a 1/1, that feels worth it. Sonic Shrieker is incredible. They cracked the Maelstrom. Do not unbeatable Mythic Bomb me, please. Okay, Shrine Keeper's fine. This is why we hold up Caustic Exhale. There's a concession from our opponent, just too far ahead on cards. They are tired of our nonsense. We don't even have to show them any of our bombs. And we are 1-1 heading into game 3. Alright, excellent mana for this opening hand. We had all 5 colors without the Sultai Monument. Now we have a Sultai Monument too. Playing against blue-red, there's Veteran Ice Climber, little unblockable threat early. Probably will detain or sweep that. So let's see, we've got white, red, play an island, and I have white, red, blue up next turn. Yeah, it seems like the play. Or the Blossoming Sands works too. Mill my Osseous Exhale. I like that card. Jeskai aggro from our opponent so far. A Veteran Ice Climber and a Zergo's Vanguard. I think I want to Detainment first, because I don't quite have enough mana that if I River Wheel Sweep into one of my great like 5 drops that I know I can play it. Or if I River Wheel Sweep into a green spell, I can't play it next turn because I haven't played my Sands yet. So we start with Detainments. And then sweep later. And we're just focused on stopping damage here. They might mill something good out of my deck and it'll be sad, but I need to focus on preventing as much damage as possible in the early game against a quicker, more streamlined deck. That's just a 3-color. Just clan-based deck. Jadecast Sentinel. Okay. That is nothing like what I was just talking about. Quicker, more streamlined, all that. It's a very slow card. And just set up a Sultai Monument and crack it next turn. Seems fine. Pretty deep into blue. I could use another blue source. I already got my 1 green. I got 2 white, 1 black. I guess this would be my 3rd blue. So a 2nd black or a 2nd green is fine. Taking 2. Jadecast Sentinel's getting in there. Come on in, little guy. Down to 19. Oh, they milled my Sonic Shrieker. RNGesus. Why you gotta be so rude? I think I'm annoyed enough that it milled something really good here that I'm gonna actually sweep now. Plus, since I drew into a 2-mana counter spell, I can do that, plus hold up a counter. Oh, there we go. Glacial Dragon Hunt. Sure. Fully kill the Ice Climber next turn. Oh, they are 4-color. They're just on no fixing 4-color. Counter the Incredible Rare. There's a Surrock for us, speaking of incredible rares. Surrock can have counter unless they pay 1 up, since I have a power 4 creature on board. And the reason I didn't discard the mountain there is because if I want to deal the 3, I have to discard a non-land. Oh, Monastery Messenger. Glad to have a second counter for that bomb. I need a counter unless they pay 3 up. Ideally a counter... No, they're just going to draw that. They're not going to draw another land. So counter unless they pay 3 is what I need. Fangkeeper's Familiar does not work. So I need a blue and 3 untapped. If I have Tawny back on board, then it's actually cheaper. So if I go green, blue, red, well, then it definitely works. Because I've got the blue and 3, plus it costs 1 less from Tawny back. Is Monument instant speed? Not sorcery speed. I guess I could also just Winter Night Stories here and still have a blue and 3. And then discard the Tawny back if I don't draw something better. That seems fine. The Tawny back isn't really blocking. It's stopping 1 damage here. Okay, I drew something worse. Goodbye, Kindguard. They want to get rid of a Harmonized card. That is so fine with me, because then I'll just mill out slower if the game goes long, and I think if the game goes long, you're locked in for the win. Okay, they're just getting their own cards back. They could play around a counter here, but like they're never gonna resolve that roar if they do, because I will always have it up for 5 million. Exhale the messenger in their end step. I probably should have recast Winter Night Stories there. I also realized I tapped out a green. I could have spent 1 more on the Tawny back and still had counter unless they pay 4. Because this reduces the cost of the Spectral Denial by 1. Snakes and Veil get the trade up into the 5/5. I need counter unless they pay 5 untapped. So I need a blue and 4. I can spend 3 mana on something. I have nothing to do for just 3 mana. I guess I could Winter Night Stories here. Not block for a turn. I just take 6. Yeah, I'm still in a decent position to do that. I could actually go block and exhale and not lose the Tawny back. That's way better than blocking Snakeskin Veil for the future. Still have a Storm Shrieker, right? Okay, well now I can just exhale the menacing multi-threat card instead. Yeah, Grappler double Storm Shrieker is going to be our win con. It might be really deep into our deck, but even if I only have like 2 cards left after it, I should be able to kill them fast enough off of that. 1, 2. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They have 3 mana up. I need counter unless they pay 4. So I need a blue and 3. If they top deck a land though, then I need a blue and 4. I need 5 mana up. I have 5 mana to do what I want. Blue, black, green, 1, 2, and I still have a blue and 4 for counter unless they pay 5. Now I get the zombies. I've got the double block for the mammoth. I'm taking no damage now. Not quite at the point I think I can attack. Since they are... Well, since I am at 8. And they're at 20 still. They only have 3 mana up, so I can do counter unless they pay 4 and still have Snakeskin Veil up. Well, see what this is, I guess. +2/+2 till end of turn? Sure. Okay, there's the win. Yeah, I knew we still had bombs in here outside of just the dragon. Double revival definitely seal the deal for us before we mill out. Tarkir Guardian's good. The one turn I tap out a familiar. They block, I can recast Dragon Hunt. Guess I have to discard familiar to do that, but can do it. They can actually Jade cast Sentinel my Dragon Hunt away. They do have the mana up for that. Okay, they're just not going to block with the Guardian in the first place. Put their Roar on the bottom of their deck. They take 12 and go to 8. They're mega dead next turn. They gotta deal 9 to me, but I also have Fangkeeper's Familiar for life gain. They block Grappler, block Familiar, take 12 on board. Take my 6, go to 3. Block, block, take 10 still? I'm gonna hold on to Fangkeeper's Familiar, just in case. They have like instant speed deal 3 to me or something. Because if I tap out for it then and then they respond with the damage to me, then I die. Destroy an enchantment. I don't lose for playing it safe because I gain 1,000,000, but that is definitely bad. Still kill them next turn. Oh no, they're dead on board. Still. Never mind. We're fine. I was trying to think, I'm like, what's the safest way to play this out if I don't lethal them here? Is it to discard the Fangkeeper's Familiar to the Dragon Hunt to clear out the Guardian? Is it to play the familiar, gain the extra 3? Is it to hold it against a creature off the top? Doesn't matter. I mean, we go to 18 on board and they died right there, so. 2 and 1 or 1 and 1? It's one of those two records here. It's been 50 minutes, so I'd be surprised if we're only on game 2. Yeah, 2 and 1 heading into game number 4. Game 4, perfect Mardu mana here. We do really need a blue source for our Dragon Hunt and our Technique, but still a definite keep. I've got an early Exhale and a late Sonic Shrieker. Those are both fantastic plays. Fantastic spells. Evolving Wilds turn 1. And our opponent's going to find a forest. Drew another blue spell, which is certainly awkward. They drop a Tranquil Cove, green, white, and blue, so they are almost definitely several colors, more than just 3 color. They're probably 4 or 5 color again. Gonna see a ton of that in Tarkir. I am loving the set so far, but I definitely could see it getting pretty samey towards the end because of how strong playing 4 and 5 colors is, how frequently that is just the right thing to do and the thing you're going to be playing against a bunch. So it can get really, really stale potentially as the format gets on later. Counter the Wayfarer to keep them off of extra mana here. And it worked out, I think, because they didn't play a land that turn. Sadly, we didn't hit the 5th land. I really wanted to have the turn sequence of counter that, untap, play Shrieker. That would have been excellent, but instead we just pass. I've got the counter non-creature spell. If they cast some kind of non-creature ramp spell, I'll definitely do that. Dismal Backwater. They did top deck the tap land. Teamer Devotee, sure. Could play the Aggressor here, get the Monks, and then Glacial Dragon Hunt. I don't think that's horrible here. Plays pretty well against the splashy all removal decks like ours to just get multiple threats off this one play. There's the mana we need. I don't want to go so aggressive that I'm also playing Kingguard. I just don't think that card is particularly massively impactful. So I'd rather keep a Riverwalk Technique for later than play that. Teeming Dragonstorm. Ah, that's the problem, because if they recast it at all, completely counteracts my whole plan of making a couple 1/1s on the ground. And in the 5-color decks, it's really easy to have a million dragons. And recast that over and over. We are not blocking here. And they're not attacking either. Uh-oh, 2 green cards. So in the market for green sources that I'm digging with Sweep. Sure. Keep my big Dargon then. Definite attack when we have Exhale untapped. I guess I've got the dragon on board to behold here. Dragonstorm Globe just setting up their mana. Come on, green source. Come on, green source. Exhale is not bad. I've got the mana for Technique plus Exhale for 1. Osseous Exhale. Okay, we will counter that. Get more damage in too with the prowess triggers. Sadly, I can't exhale with no target, so I'd have to do less damage by exhaling. So I can't just like cast that just to prowess in 2 more damage. Because I'd target the Sonic Shrieker and end up doing 1 less damage total. There's no point. Is this any target? No, it's creatures only. Oh! 7/7 flying lifelink. Pick up my get 2 things. Yep, that's a mythic dragon right there. That's a mythic dragon right there. Oh no. And because of the globe, it's 1 toughness too high to dragon hunt plus exhale. That's not a green source, it's a useless mana. Oh god. That's so stable. It's such a chunky lifelinker. They can well, they have delve. It's not that they recast from grave, they delve their spells. Okay. Oh man, what do I do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can attack into it and then exhale it, I guess. But then I still lose my Shrieker. I think I'm digging and praying here. The big spooky creature is already resolved, and I don't have the mana to Familiar plus Exhale, but I do have the mana to Surok plus Exhale. Okay. Oh, I don't. Oh, I already played my land for turn. Okay, I should have kept the Familiar then if I already played my land for turn. If they don't block, they die. If they do block, Tebal dies. And I keep the Shrieker this way. Unless they have a Snakeskin Veil for that 1 mana up here. I guess their own Caustic Exhale would work too. That would be rough. Have the 1 mana interaction? They do. Oh, because of Delve! Oh my god, that's gross. Delve makes the counterspell cost 1. Ugh. Alright. Tebal's doing mythic dragon things. Okay. Well, you got me. We got double mythic card on this one. Misplayed keeping the Familiar, or keeping the Surok instead of the Familiar, but Teval plus Jeskai Revelation is game. Regardless. Bummer. 2-2 heading into game number 5. All right, here we are for game 5, teetering on the edge of defeat here at 2-2. A single loss from this point on, and we are out of the event. But this hand looks spectacular. We have the mana for everything in the hand. I can double Molten Exhale with a Flamehold Grappler later. I will need another red source to do that by turn 5. Can't really double Dispelling Exhale. So there's that. I could double Kinguard no matter... No, I don't have double white either. Okay, this is awkward. Our deck doesn't care enough about the early damage to run out the Kinguard over holding up Exhale in the early game. No green source for this Fangkeeper's Familiar. I have drawn our green spells so much more often than our green lands, and we have equal amounts of each, so it is awkward. Okay, no, we have more green lands than green spells. We have 3 green spells and 4 green lands. Don't like how this game is going. We don't have any crazy late game plays yet, and our opponent has played nothing till like turn 5, so their hand must be just nothing but strong late game spells. Or they're just playing around Dispelling Exhale like their life depends on it. I don't think having a Sage of the Fang get Dispelling Exhaled is really bad, even in the slightest, so if they had that since turn 3, I don't know that I agree with just holding it against Exhale that long. Because it's like, it's got abilities in the grave. You get the Dispelling Exhale out of the way for a better spell later. So I really do, I feel like it's more likely that it's just a bunch of really, really late game plays here. I mean, they are consistently casting things with 2 extra mana up. Honestly, even if I've never technically cast the Dispelling Exhale at this point, it's still played so well for me. Just making them play this slowly. So I'm very fine with this. Well, tragic I don't get to hold up the Fangkeeper's Familiar here. There they go, just wait until I have the 2 extra mana for everything. Sure, everything you've cast is super fine. Letting it resolve. Double Stormplane Detainment coming up. I got 3 mana plus Familiar here. I think we're just vibing. Take 4, crack back for 2. Guess they want to recast their veteran from the grave, and then I can hit that thing. That has really good abilities in the graveyard, even if I kill it, so I want to detainment that. I would really like to draw a dragon in case they have their own dispelling thing. Okay, never mind. They only have 1 blue mana up, so they cannot have that thing. Blue, red, white, grappler, white and 2, detainment. Goodbye to your board. And I have Dispelling Exhale up, which doesn't really matter at this point. It has made it all the way to the super late game. If they have their own Fangkeeper's Familiar to blow up one of these detainments, it's going to be pretty good for them. I guess if they try to wait and do it at instant speed, then I counter theirs. Okay, there's Awaken the Honored Dead to blow up one of our Stormplane Detainments. Sure. Can still Dragon Hunt the Revenant. Oh! Oh, well, Dispelling Exhale actually stays relevant. Because they don't have the 2 up. That would have been so bad. So Dragon Hunt the Carsey Revenants. And they're just going to have like a 4-2 Flying Death Touch lifelink for me to deal with. I could also just attack with a First Striker, but then I'm not doing anything on blocks here. Play Stories and still Dragon Hunt here. Yeah, this could change my line. Let's see what we find. Sonic Shrieker? Okay, so we Dragon Hunt the Revenant then. Sonic Shrieker, the 4-2 with all the good abilities next turn. Because I don't believe the Revenant puts a +1/+1 counter. It's just Flying Death Touch lifelink. Yeah, Flying Death Touch lifelink. They get to return their best creature or land from their grave to their hand next turn. Which is Vanguard. No, Disruptive Stormbrood. Disruptive Stormbrood to get Detainment back. That's going to be kind of gross. Oh, it turns into a 6/6. Well. Because it's got 3 or more different kinds of counters. Wow, okay. That's a lot worse for me than I thought. Well, I need Familiar up to counter the thing that's going to counter my Detainment. So I need 4 mana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm a mana off from playing Shrieker this turn. So instead we'll play Winter Night Stories, since it's not like I can block that giant lifelinker anyway. They're gaining 6 a turn. That is gross. Exhale plus Shrieker is still not enough to kill Veteran. But we definitely keep those cards. So they bring back their Naturalized Dragon, we counter that. They have whatever they top decked in their hand, and that's it. The race is on. Deal 6, gain 6, they say. Last card in hand is the top decked Devotee that I can kill with Sonic Shrieker. I do not have double black to hold up the Exhale to try to kill their thing on blocks, so we just make enough power to try to outrace the 6 life gained per turn. They gain 6, but then they take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. They're at 15. They're taking 16 on board. But their top deck was another Stormbrood to blow up Detainment, get back the 4/4, and stun a card. I swear to God, Arena. Alright, our top deck is Revival, which is good if we can stall this game out, but my only flyer's tapped and they have 9 damage in the sky. So I have to Caustic Exhale the Stormbrood, take 6, go to 2, and die in 2 swings. What a draw from our opponent. I also only have 1 black source. I can't cast Revival of the Ancestors because I will die if I do. I have to hold up Caustic Exhale and kill the Stormbrood. That's so ridiculous. If I kill the Sage, they can renew it. So just realized they probably shouldn't have attacked like this. Because I don't want them to renew and stun my flyer another turn. Oh my god. Stormbrood into draw 3, discard 1. I mean, the Stormbrood was absurd. I don't think you could have asked for a better draw there. We're at 2. Trawlers. Picks up the focused mind. It's pretty good. It's another blocker to be well out of range of lethal. Laughably late counterspell. Laughably late. I have to chump with my Sonic Shrieker now. And I can't kill Constrictor Sage or... I mean, I guess I can, and then Snakeskin Veil the Sonic Shrieker when they try to stun it. But then I'm just using a Snakeskin Veil to keep a chumper around. What a frustrating ending to this draft. Again, I don't think this deck is the greatest. The fixing could be better. But 2 and 3 is a little low. And we've had some rough luck with it. Just, again, opponent top decking into the perfect spell to end this run. This game was probably winnable if I knew all of 100 Battle Veterans' abilities, but I forgot there was going to be a 6/6 when they put all the counters on it there. If I knew that, I probably could have played differently and maybe won. Oh my god. I can do counter unless they pay 3, and guess how much mana they have up. I'm going home. I'm going home. 2 and 3 it is. I'm just going to do another draft. That one was rough. I think the drafting process, the deck we ended up with, very strong. Tons of cheap interaction, which is what you need in these big, splashy, multicolored decks. Plenty of dual lands, tri-lands, and a monument. The mana base could be a little bit better. I think we got a little too splashy with it and needed to focus a little harder on a couple core colors. You don't really want to be this spread apart. Ideally, you're much more focused, you know, like maybe 12 white and 12 blue cards, and then just like 3 or 4 of everything else, instead of this very slow decline into the later colors. So that was the biggest issue with the deck, was mana stuff, and the mana stuff did come into play as an issue a little bit. But overall, I think our biggest issues there were variance-based, luck-based, and potential misplay-based stuff. But yeah, I mean, just top deck Naturalized Dragon there that last turn. Brutal ending to the run. But still a pretty fun deck, pretty powerful one. Sad to see it end things at a 2-3 run. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below, and if you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. But other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.